Hello friends and enemies. Welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here with my mid-month wrap-up. So if you're new here, hello, welcome. I do mid-month wrap-ups because I usually read so much. Right now my reading is down a little bit, but I still want to do this because a lot of times by the last half of the month I've read so much that like this saves me from having a 40-minute wrap-up. So yeah, my reading's still a little funky because of the move and all those things, but that's okay. We are getting through it because I have read a good bit. I've read 7 books by the time you see this, and DNF'd 1. So that's not too bad, and then manga on top of that. I'm gonna go through these in the order I read them, and then I will do a little section on manga, as well as tell you about what I'm currently reading that I can't tell you about. We'll get to it in a minute. But first things first, the first book I finished this month was House of Sky and Breath, which I did read a huge chunk of in February. Not surprising, this is a long one, so it did take me a while to get through, but this was a 6-star read for me, which means it was a favorite of the year. I literally texted Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany when I finished this one, what the fuck? That was like my first thing. I was just like, what the fuck happened? I could not believe it. It was wild, and I'm so excited I read it. So excited I read Crescent City in January and dove right into this not long after it came out. Perfection, absolute perfection. I cannot believe how good this was. I cannot believe how much I loved it. I mean, I can, but I just blew me away. Adored it. Perfect for me. This is my kind of fantasy though, as we know, and it's not a surprise that it's my kind of fantasy. I feel like it's not super plot or world dense heavy, but I do think we had some really interesting reveals that I just, wow is all I want to say about this. I don't want to give any spoilers. If you want my full spoiler thoughts, I recommend you go listen to the chapter 3 podcast that I'm on with Bethany. We did a whole episode of spoiler thoughts on this one, so kind of the perfect spot for that. Next, we have The Never King by Nikki St. Crow. This was a TikTok recommendation via Megan over at This Past Romance. She saw the TikTok, sent it to myself and Tamika, and was like, y'all gotta read this, so we read it. And this was amazing. So this is a Peter Pan retelling, reverse harem situation / polyamorous, whichever word you prefer to use. And this follows Peter, who, and his like band of misfits, Vane, Bash, and Cash, or Kaz, something like that, who kidnapped the darling on her 18th birthday. So every female darling that is born on their 18th birthday is kidnapped and taken to Neverland because Wendy made Peter Pan lose his shadow. And we are trying to find the shadow. So the sequel comes out in April, and I cannot wait. I'm dying to read it and see where this is going. But we follow Winnie, who is like the 3rd generation darling to be kidnapped, I believe, or 4th, I don't know, something like that. And they all kind of lose their mind when they come back from the kidnapping. And yeah, so we're following her and her journey with all the boys and their situation happening in Neverland. It's a very interesting, very intriguing. I personally just like loved this. It hit all my favorite things with a fairy tale retelling in that way where like I just cannot wait for the sequel. And I may have to check out what else Nikki St. Crow has written. But yeah, I gave this 5 stars, absolutely loved it. Then I read The Bastard's Bargain by Katie Roberts. This is the last book in her O'Malley series, and then we have a new series where we follow the children of these characters we've met. I really loved my time with the O'Malley series, so it's no surprise if this was a 5-star for me as well. I think Dimitri and Kira were some of the most interesting characters and one of the best build-ups to have over the whole course of the series. Now, you could read this as a standalone by any means, but I do think having read them in order gave me like the perfect build-up to get to this book. And it really paid off for me, and I loved it. I think Kira was such an interesting character. We don't deal with enough women characters who are main characters dealing with addiction in romance. And Kira has an addiction to alcohol and drugs. She mostly partakes in weed. And it kind of addresses that and how she's been using it to like self-soothe and not really acknowledge or manage or deal with the pain and grief she's been feeling over the loss of a sibling. And I really just love it. I love how it played out. I do obviously content note on those things happening in this book and being a theme in this book. But yeah, it was so delightful. This is definitely a great Mafia series if you're interested, and I just really loved it. Next, we have the newest Ali Hazelwood audiobook, which is Stuck on You. This one I really liked. I liked it a lot more than the other book, which was like Under One Roof. This was a 4-star read versus a 3. This is another one of her fan fictions that has been adapted with all the stuff kind of shaved off a little and put out. This one for me was really, really fun. It followed a software engineer or something. Is it a software engineer? I don't know, a developer? I don't know. She does something. I think it was something like that. And they're like very environmentally conscious, and her meeting this guy that works at this other firm that does the similar thing, but they're less environmentally conscious. And she thinks he's betrayed her after their date / one night together situation, and that is not the case. But this all comes to a head because they both get stuck in an elevator together, and the story is told in flashbacks. So we get portions of them in the elevator stuck together, and then we get portions of them in the past when they were together for that like 24-ish hours. It was really, really good. I really, really liked it. There was a great face-sitting scene, so I'm pretty easily pleased when it comes to that. And I do think the steam in this one was just a little bit better. The storytelling was just a little bit better, and thus it was a 4-star. Then I have 3 books and 1 DNF that you will hear about on Thursday in that vlog. So keep your eyes peeled for that vlog to go out. I hope you're excited. I am. I'm very excited. But yeah, those will be talked about then, and I will talk about them again in my mid-month. Or my mid-month? No, we're doing my mid-month. In my end-of-month wrap-up. Next, we have all the manga I read. I've read 4 volumes of manga, which is not quite enough. I need to read like 3 more and I'll be caught up. So I'm trying to read about a volume every other day this month. / about 15 volumes this month, because I would like to get more caught up on my manga backlog before I put my new library together. On that note though, the 4 I have read, I did really enjoy. I've had a good reading month. So first we have Yakuza Lover Volume 4. This is a Mafia romance. Obviously he's in the Yakuza. They meet when she is like, gets into trouble at a party, and he saves her, and we go from there, and it's this really cute kind of slow build, very, very steamy, very smutty, lots of sex type of manga. This one does come sealed generally because it's explicit. And it follows them and their like love story. It is very insta-lovey, so it will not work for everyone, but I personally really, really enjoy it. Then I read Daily Reports About My Witch Senpai Volume 1. This was so cute. This is a 4-star read for me as well. This was the cutest little slice of life about a boy, this guy at work. He has a crush on his coworker who's a witch. And we kind of address some of her issues she's had being a witch, people being mean to her, etc. And like, she'll like give him rides home on her broom. It's so stinking cute. The art is adorable. She has a pet iguana. Like, it just is so quirky and weird. And I love just all the things addressed in it. I think it's only a 2-volume series when I looked it up the other day. So this is definitely an easy one that you could pick up and like read 2 volumes when the next one comes out and just have a cute little fun time. It's so stinking cute though. Oh my gosh, I love it. Like, I love it so much. This is like perfectly up my alley as far as which books go. So I can't wait to see what I think as I continue. Next, I read How Do We Relationship Volume 5. This is a Yuri or Sapphic manga. I gave this a 3.5. I continue to struggle with this series. Part of me says just pick them up. They only come out every like 4 months, and keep reading. But we are following 2 characters who have since broken up after a really cute whirlwind romance. And they're kind of dealing with their feelings about being a lesbian and what that is. There are things in this book I really, really love. And then the things that I don't like, I hate. Hence the 3.5. It continues to be like a really back and forth. There's a lot of like just refusing to communicate with each other, and feeling like they're just both still in love and not talking to each other with it. So I may give volume 6 a try, and that may be my last one. I don't know. I may continue torturing myself just in hopes that they're gonna find a way to be together and it'll all be worth it. But it's very like emotional and miscommunication based, so be aware if you do pick this series up. And then we have one of my favorite mangas. The sequel finally came out, which is Dick Fight Island, Volume 2. Oh, I read this on a reading spread in the last month. I can link it down below if you want my live reactions as I read it, like when I finished it up. But I gave this 5 stars, and I really liked this. So this is basically like a collection of short stories about different characters we met in Dick Fight Island Volume 1. This is a 5-star read for me as well. I love Dick Fight Island so much. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. The first one to come loses. So I feel like the actual winner isn't a winner, if that makes sense. And this follows our main character from Dick Fight Island, him and his relationship in Japan with his roommate, and some of the other characters we met in Dick Fight Island on the island's relationships. And it's precious. Somehow filthier than the first volume also, by the way. This is another one that does come sealed. It is a lot. And I loved it. I just loved it. It's so weird and quirky, and it's really, really sweet at the same time. Yeah, so highly recommend Dick Fight Island if you haven't checked it out and you're curious. You can buy it digitally also, so no one has to see it. Then for my currently reading, I have 2 books on my currently reading shelf that I can tell you about. The other ones obviously have not been marked as read because secret TBR. So we have Ante Up by Christina C. Jones, which I am currently almost done with. I'm at 64% through the book on this one, and this is a darker romance for Christina C. Jones. This definitely has a different kind of hero than we're used to from her, and a lot harder, heavier plotting. Not in a bad way, but like it's heavy. Like our main character, Asha, our main character Asha is dealing with a lot in her life, and she's saving up to enter a 50 grand entry fee tournament for poker. And King is like a casino heir, not heiress. He's a casino heir, and she and him like have a one-night stand, and then some things happen. It's a lot. Like it's a lot. It's a heavy book. He's definitely an asshole, so he's not going to be for everyone. But I'm really enjoying this so far, and I'm excited to finish it up. My members are getting a vlog with this one and our 3 other books for member picks from February, March, and April. Later this month, so, or early April. We'll see when I finish them all. But yeah, these are coming soon. I'm reading another Christina C. Jones book because I do love my Christina C. Jones. I do have a wild goal to eventually read her whole backlist, which maybe will happen, we'll see. So I'm reading maybe One More at Night by Christina C. Jones, which is the last book in the Vegas Nights trilogy. This is a short novella. I started it last night before I fell asleep, and I will finish it up today. And I'm very excited about this. This is the 3rd book in the Vegas Nights series, which is like kind of a dark romance with 3 friends, some people like interconnected through friendships and stuff. And these are like short, dirty, quick novellas, full of a lot of heat and a lot of like feelings also for being so short. And I'm very excited to dive in on this. So those are my current readings. And the other ask I have for you before I wrap this up is I'm gonna leave a link below to a Google form where I would like you to vote on what books I should read for my ARC vlog in April. So I'm doing ARC vlogs every other month this year in an attempt to get ahead on my ARCs and / get caught up. So I will link that down below for you. Please click on that link and go vote on what books you want to see me read in April. Hopefully you like the picks. And that is it for all of the books I read in March so far. Let me know if you've read anything you loved this month or anything that surprised you. And if you don't want to do that, leave me a rain emoji because we are about to be getting a ton of showers again. At least it's not more snow. There's that. So leave me that emoji, and I will see y'all in just a few days in my next video. I can't wait to talk to you then. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away.